Welcome everybody, this is the Microsoft 365 and Power Platform community call. This is the Tuesday community call every single Tuesday, 8 a.m. Pacific time with Microsoft speakers. So in this call, we always have the product managers, cloud advocates, engineers, and whoever is suitable for Microsoft to present the demos, what we cover in here. So intention is that it's coming directly from the creators and the owners of the features and capabilities. Now, today is May 16th. My name is Vesa Juvonen. I'm a principal product manager in the Microsoft 365 platform areas. And we'll start by going through some of the typical slides because there's always new people in the call every single time we have this call, and we can actually see that from the chat as well. Now that the chat is, by the way, working. So we do apologize on the bit of a bummer last week. We had a problem with the chat because we maxed out 1,000 attendees in the chat, and that's causing then the chat to not behave properly. Now we have capacity there, so that should be good. We'll go through the basic setup of assets and resources which are available for you to get started. Then we'll go through latest news across the Microsoft 365 blogs. We'll take a group picture with Together mode in Microsoft Teams, and we're going to share that in social media. So if you're looking if you're fine for waving hands in the GIF, that would be awesome. So that's going to happen before quarter past. And then we'll move to the actual presenters of the day, who will be Srinivas and Rick, who are going to talk about building a Microsoft Teams call queue scheduler solution for customers. Then we go to Supriti, Bhan, talking about introduction to live Share SDK for Microsoft Teams apps. That's a really cool SDK. We've seen that a few times in this call as a preview capability, and it's awesome to cover that in today as well. And then for the latter part, I will talk about the latest on building Microsoft Viva extensibility with SPFX with some new slides and a few new demos as well, so that should be cool as well. Now, as we get started on moving, or as you get started on getting more involved within the community areas, these are the key assets and resources which you have available. So we do have our Microsoft 365 and Power Platform community video channel in YouTube, where we publish all of the community call recordings across all of the different calls, what is happening. We also have our relatively new LinkedIn group for discussions and updates. That's basically there for a discussion. So you can actually share something cool what you found, and then we're going to have a discussion on that. So it's really not just about us yelling towards you. You can actually tell feedback through the channel for us as well. We do have a lot of GitHub and open source assets available, but as it might be a bit difficult to find the relevant sample for you, we do have a specific sample galleries, and primary one of them is the aka.ms community samples, which is aggregating all of the samples which we have from Microsoft and community to a one centralized location. So try to make it as easy for you to find the relevant sample. And if you're thinking that there's too many URLs to remember, luckily there's only one, which is aka.ms/community/home. From there you'll find all of these assets. Now, I did mention the community calls. This is the Tuesday 8 a.m. Pacific time community call happening every single week, except on the holiday season in the December timeframe, and then on summertime we will have a break. So just a heads up on that one. We'll be on pause the whole July and until the mid-August. We will start sharing those dates a bit later, but that's basically because we wouldn't have difficulties of getting presenters within this Tuesday call. Now, the Power Platform, Microsoft Identity Platform, and Office Settings monthly calls are continuing their execution. Those are monthly calls. And then we have our Thursday 7 a.m. Pacific time series, which will happen and continues going through the summer as well. So it's either Microsoft 365 and Power Platform community or Viva Connection and SharePoint Framework community call. Those are happening also every single week. Now, you can download recurrent invites from aka.ms community calls, and you can always see the agendas on the calls advanced from the aka.ms community meetup. So that is a nice location to sign up for get to be notified when the agendas are published. Now, I did mention that Tuesday call is about Microsoft presenters, especially on the other calls. We're always looking for community presenters. So we would be looking into having you the opportunity to share your learnings or showcase the thing what you built. It doesn't have to be open source, but we don't want this to be about product selling and marketing. So it has to be based on your learnings and something what you built, and then learning, sharing those experiences with others within the community. So please do sign up, aka.ms community request demo, and that is a relatively simple form, and then we'll send up or assign you to the right call and get it scheduled within the agenda. We do have a quite long queue right now on those demo spots because there is a huge demand for those demos. So we do apologize if you would get scheduled in, for example, for July or August, but that's because there is a huge demand for these demo slots. Now, we do have a lot of assets to get started on the Microsoft 365 development. Please sign up for the Microsoft 365 developer program. You will get a free E5 developer tenant, which will renew automatically in 90 days as long as you use it for developer purposes. We also have a lot of training material available in the Microsoft Learn for both Microsoft 365 and Power Platform, so check those out as well. We also have a weekly or bi-weekly shows. So Microsoft 365 PMP Weekly happens weekly, hosted by yours truly and Waldek Mastercard. We also have a really new Mondays at Microsoft, hosted by Caruana and Heather. That's happening in the Microsoft community at LinkedIn. Really cool setup as well. That was happening first time this week on Monday. We have our Power Platform Connections, hosted by David Warner and Hugo Bernier, a great show as well. And then we have our Microsoft 365 Developer Podcast, hosted by Jeremy Fake and Paul Schaffelin or Aisha Bosch. So really cool opportunities as well. Now, I talked about the samples already. We have a lot of them. So don't start from scratch. When you start building on experiences, have a look around, have a look on what other people have been building. Maybe there's a sample which is close by on what you're looking in the building. You can download the sample, you can modify that, you can actually make that to be the solution, what you're looking for. Or if you're stuck with something, try to find a sample where which can help you to get unblocked on, oh, now I get it. That's how they actually should be implementing, or that's how I should be implementing things. So learning from other people is a great way of learning how to build experiences within Microsoft 365 and Power Platform. Take advantage of that one. Now, as you find the sample, you might be wondering, okay, so the sample is in GitHub. What happens now? That's why we have Sharing is Caring, and David can do a quick intro as what that is all about.
Yes, awesome. Thank you, Vesa. Well, Sharing is Caring, friends, is a program that provides you hands-on guidance. What does that mean? It means we're going to join into calls together, and we're going to show you how to accomplish a number of things. Some, for example, is using those samples that Vesa had talked about. Some is submitting those samples, understanding the landscape at GitHub. Things like fork and blame and raw can be confusing terms. So we're going to walk through it together, and you're going to leave equipped and empowered and confident. Now, you may have seen that some of these sessions have not had the greatest of schedules lately. We understand that. We're working through it. As we have mentioned on other calls, we're looking for volunteers. We're looking to scale and provide more sessions during more times of the month for you. So be on the lookout now that some of these major events are going to be over with here. We're going to be scheduling more, and we're going to be scheduling those calls with those that are interested. So if you've reached out and said you're interested, we got you on the list. If you would like to be assisting with running some of these sessions, reach out as well to myself or Hugo, and we will absolutely get you on the list of those who would like to start helping out. Always take a look at aka.ms/sharing is caring for the latest, and don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. Vesa, back to you.
Excellent. Thank you, David, on that one. Very cool. Well, crowd goes wild. Yay! There we go. Excellent. Now, related on those events, so the team has been incredibly busy with a lot of the events which are happening. There are a few more events happening before the summer break. So we do have the European Collaboration Summit happening next week at Düsseldorf on 24th to 26th of May. It seems to be sold out, so there's only a few more tickets available, and it's going to hit 2,500 attendees, which is really cool. We have Microsoft speakers, regional directors, and MVPs doing great set of presenters over there. Then in June, there's going to be 365 EduCon happening in the DC in the US side. If you are on that side of the pond, you can actually easily get there. Why not fly across the pond as well? That is absolutely an option. And then in the 365 EduCon, there's a Seattle happening in August and Chicago happening in October and November. On the Europe side of the pond, we also have the European Power Platform Conference happening in Dublin in 20 to 22nd of June. A great opportunity to engage with the community. Those are the kind of bigger ones, and then there's a lot of smaller conferences and smaller meetups happening throughout every single weekend and every single month. So please do check out communitydays.org, from where you can see the list of all of the different events which are happening across the world. So some of these might have a price, some of them are free, some of them are in person, some of them are virtual, but it's all available for you to take advantage to get involved more closely within the community. Really cool. Now, related on the community and building things, I think, Gary, you want to do a quick intro on the Microsoft Teams Global Hack?
Yes, I can. Hi, everyone. So I just want to announce the HackTogether Microsoft Teams Global Hack event that is coming up starting the 1st of June. So this is a 2-week virtual hackathon where we ask you to build an app for Teams, and that can be anything that you like. It's a pro dev hackathon, so if you're a SharePoint Framework developer, for example, and you want to build an app for Teams using SharePoint Framework, that is one way to get involved and work on your project. Submit that before the event finishes. And you could be in a chance to actually win prizes as well. So we've got several categories available for you to win prizes on. If that interests you, please go to aka.ms/HackTogetherTeams. All the information is there. There's a link to register as well. You can register now and get a calendar invite for all of the live events that we also have coming up as well throughout that 2-week period. Go there, register, get involved, and we'd love to see what you're going to build in the 2 weeks in June. And Vesa, back to you.
Excellent, thank you, Gary. And by the way, everybody who registers and submits something will get a badge, a critical digital badge from Cretly, which is identifying that you actually participated on this hackathon as well, just to call that out as well. So it's not just about winning, it's about participating, right?
Exactly.
Yay! Excellent. Thank you, David. That's a weird sound. Wow, you have a really high voice.
I'm a man of many talents. What can I say?
Yes, of course. Excellent. Now,
I'm a man of many talents. Sorry.
Excellent. So the weekly news from our side. So first of all, there's four news on the developer side. OneNote webhooks API deprecation is happening. There's more details related on HackTogether on the Microsoft Teams Global Hack. So that's basically what Gary was just recapping. There's a new SDK for Microsoft Graph on the Go side. So if you're developing using a Go, now there's an SDK for Microsoft Graph, and that's now GA available. And then a really cool thing as well is that the Microsoft Teams apps are now available in public preview in Microsoft 365 iOS apps. So now you can actually extend or access Microsoft Teams apps directly in Microsoft 365 app in the iOS as well. On the other side, on the Microsoft Teams, there's options for enabling external collaboration. So that's more a IT pro administrative blog post related on those different options of engaging with external people within the organization. There's a great intro zone podcast episode with Jeff Deeper. Jeff Deeper owns Microsoft Teams, SharePoint, OneDrive, and many, many other things like Microsoft Lists. And they talk about the Copilot and the change, what the AI will bring for the enterprises. On the Power Platform side, there's a how the Copilot in Microsoft Dynamics 365 and Power Platform delivers enterprise-ready AI built for security and privacy blog post. And then there's a announcement related on Power Platform as certified connectors. There is 1,000 of them. I will paste in the links for all of this news in the chat right now. So if you're interested on checking any of them out, you will get to them. Or maybe I will not paste in the links on there. David can actually help me on that, maybe, because he can access the presentation and get it from the meeting notes. That's interesting. I can copy them from the presenter view. Wow. Always learning something new. Really, really cool news. We will get the links in the chat in a second. Before we go to the actual demos and the stars of the day, let's then, however, do a quick group photo. So let me actually start here, Camtasia. So if you are open, let's actually do a quick group photo. Awesome. We can see the great filters in Microsoft Teams. Chicken is my favorite as well. Oh, the mushroom man is even better, actually. Let me get together mode in place, and let's do the auditorium gold one today, and hopefully we get the pixelation a bit better. It's built pixelated. Come on, Microsoft Teams, you can do this. No, it's too pixelated. Come on. We still have, wait. We still have a few minutes, a few seconds. Why is it so pixelated? I guess we need to do pixelated then.
That's your fiber connection in Finland.
Yes, because in Finland we've always been so bad about internet connectivity, right? Why is it so pixelated? No, Teams. I guess we'll need to do this with pixelated. No can do. I will put
a little bit coming in a little bit better.
It's getting better. It's getting
The
better.
faces of the innocent have been blurred for their protection.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, this is for protection. Let's do some hand waving, everybody. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Cody, for the message in the chat as well. Really cool to have you on the call. I do apologize for the pixelated version today. Excellent. We will grab that from there, and we'll share that in the social media for sure. Now, then it's time to go to the actual stars of the day. So we are right on schedule. Everybody has 15 minutes. We'll start with Srinivas and Rick related on building a Microsoft Teams call queue scheduler solution for customers. And let's move within their show.
Okay, great. I guess first off, hello, everyone. We'll do some quick introductions first. My name is Rick Shire. I am a technical program manager inside of the Teams engineering group. And while Srinivas is queuing up the content, maybe Srinivas, you want to give a quick introduction?
Yes, my name is Srinivas Varukala, and I'm a technical program manager in the same team as Rick. And today we are going to present about call queue scheduler we developed to meet certain customer needs.
So we're here today to showcase the Microsoft Teams call queue scheduler app. But before we do that, just a quick background introduction on what exactly Microsoft Teams call queues are. So in a very simple terms, basically, this is a voice app that is provided by Microsoft Teams voice customers that allow for call distribution for incoming calls. So just to kind of quickly walk you through this, how something like this would work is for a call queue, they're typically front-ended via a PSTN number. So somebody would pick up a phone call, the phone and call a telephone number to reach a call queue, but it can be reached through VoIP as well within the Teams client. So this example, I've got a sales call queue configured, and there are many options, including configuring a custom greeting for the call queue, music on hold. And the way that the call queue distributes calls amongst agents is dependent on a number of things. So then the admin that manage these call queues can configure different routing methods, and they configure the way that agents are selected as well. So you can do presence-based routing, so route a call to specific agents based on their active presence. And you can also delegate the agent to allow them to opt in and opt out of these call queues based on, whether they're on a break, on lunch, or they're just not on shift. And that if there is a need to overflow because it's reached capacity, or you just need to redirect it to another place because the call times out, there's no active agents, we provide that capability as well. So in terms of agent selection, you can see here we do have the capability to allow agents to opt in and opt out of the queue. Customers love that, but there is one specific pain point that few customers have shared with us. So with respect to opting in and opting out, I think that works very well for an employee who's dedicated to answer calls on a daily basis. That is their primary task, is to answer calls through this call queue. But we know that there are certain personas where that's not necessarily their primary job. So you take a doctor or a nurse, for example, very busy individuals, but they may be asked to be an agent in a queue. And for somebody that's their secondary purpose is to answer calls, they're working with patients, they're filling out paperwork, looking at imaging. What could happen is those particular types of agent personas may forget to opt in out of a queue. Now, if we're dealing with a healthcare scenario, if you don't have any active doctors in a specific queue that need to be, these calls need to be answered on a timely basis, that obviously is not a good thing. But the reverse thing happens as well, where you may have a doctor who at the end of their shift, they go home and they forget to opt out of the queue. That may lead to calls being still delivered to those doctors, but they're at home, they're being disturbed when they're supposed to be sleeping. So what we have done based on customer feedback is we envisioned this call queue scheduler app. So we took the best of Microsoft Teams call queues, combined it with a platform solution. And essentially the way that it works is through this diagram. So a lot of organizations, they have a shift schedule. That could be third party or could be Microsoft Teams, or sorry, Microsoft Shifts. But the admin would take that shift schedule, upload it into a call queue scheduler app. That's the platform app that we built that's in focus for today. And this app has the capability to, based on that set schedule, to update the call queue based on the agent shift schedule. So basically the problem that we're solving here is we're taking out the need for the agent to opt in and opt out of the call queue themselves, and we're delegating that to this app. So this app does that on behalf of the agents themselves. So this is a great solution. There's a ton of customer demand for this type of solution. So if you have a need to schedule agents, this may be a right thing for you. The great thing about this is obviously you can increase productivity, reduce costs, but what we like about it, it's open source solution on GitHub. It's fully customizable, and it's available to you today at this link. So that is a quick overview of Microsoft Teams call queues and the app. And I'll turn it over to my colleague Srinivas for a quick demo of this app. Srinivas?
Yes. So thanks for that, Rick. So I hope everyone got a good idea of what call queues are and the problem we are trying to solve. So let's jump into the demo. So let me show you in Teams Admin Center. If you go to Teams Admin Center under Voice section, there's a call queue. And if you click that, you'll see the list of call queues. Here in my tenant, I have about 6 of those call queues. And to manage these call queues today, there's no way to delegate someone to manage these call queues. So as a Teams admin, I can do that. I can add agents. Let's say open this up. We call queue for room 1 to 5. And to see who's the active agent right now, if you click on call answering, it's Nurse Adele is the active agent at the moment. So here you can add and remove users, agents to the call queue. But with our app, we are able to delegate these call queues to certain people, like supervisors. So maybe I want the top 3, the billing and room 1 to 15 as one person as a supervisor, and the rest of the call queue as a supervisor, a different supervisor, right? So that's what we're going to achieve, in addition to what Rick shared, where we automate the agent schedules. So here I logged in as this person, and if I go to manage call queues, I can see, even though in my admin center there are 6 call queues, I can see only these 3 because I have been configured to be a supervisor for only these call queues. So here, as I showed earlier, Nurse Adele is a current active agent. Here, using this app, I can take certain ad hoc actions. So for example, I can remove Nurse Adele, and I can search for a different agent. Let's say we want to add Nurse Irwin, and we can commit those changes. So now what happens? It's going to go. This request is going to go through a couple of hoops to accomplish this adding and removal of the agents. So behind the scenes, it goes from Power App to Power Automate to Azure Function, which runs PowerShell. The reason we are using PowerShell is because today there's no Microsoft Graph endpoint to make queries to call queues. So for that reason, we are relying on PowerShell. And the PowerShell runs using a service account whose credentials are stored within a key vault. So as you can see, Adele got removed and Irwin got added. To just confirm that, we can go into this room call queue, call answering, and you can see Adele got replaced by Irwin. So not only that, there are a few other features or possibilities with this application. So you can upload schedules. So let's go upload, select a call queue. Let's say I want to select room 6 to 10. Select my schedule file. I have sample data pre-created like that. So while that's being uploaded, I will show you the sample data I have. So the CSV sample is pretty simple. The first column is the assignment column or the time slot. And the second, and you can have n number of columns following that. So in this sample, I have only 2 columns, or today and tomorrow. And you can assign which agent you want to add during what time slot. So in this way, you can spread out this CSV file for up to 1 or 2 months ahead, and you can have the schedules preloaded into our system. And our application is going to take care of adding and removing the agents depending on the time slot that's defined in this CSV. So let's go back and view schedules. So this is room 125, but we uploaded schedules for 6 to 10. So here you can see there are some schedule. This is an old schedule, but there are some new schedules here. So this is, let's say, we are looking at 516, but let's go back here. Yeah. So we have some color coding going on here. So the shifts that are in the past are shown in yellow. The current shifts are shown in green, and the future ones are in blue. And you can have schedules that are overlapping days, like some can start like evening 7 p.m. and go until 5 a.m. in case of doctors. So those are also taken care of in this application. You can make ad hoc changes. For example, let's say Dr. Megan calls in and says, "Hey, I cannot be until 7 p.m. I can be on call only until 4 p.m." So as a supervisor, I can make those changes. I can confirm that change, and that's taken care of. Now, as a supervisor, I see there's a gap here between 4 and 7 p.m. There's no agent schedule. So I can take an action again. I can click that add new button, search for a doctor who is available. And fill that gap. So this view helps the supervisors to make sure that there's no gaps in the schedules, especially in HLS health scenarios. It's important to have this continuous availability of doctors and nurses. And you can also delete schedules, and you can take a peek using the peek call queue. You can check who's the active agent right now. Yeah, pretty much. Those are all the features that we have baked into this application. And to just show you the other login, here in this, I logged in as Megan, and this app is pinned as a personal app within Teams. And here, if I go to manage call queues, I see a different set of call queues because Megan is configured to be a supervisor for a different set of call queues. And I can take the same action that I showed earlier. So with that, just one more slide and we are done. This is high-level solution design. So we start off with a Power App, which can be embedded as a personal app within Teams. This Power App does all those actions that I just showcased. Behind the scenes, we are using SharePoint Online as a data store. We also track all the changes that's being done through the application. So we keep an audit log. And the call queue delegation also is hosted within SharePoint Online site. And all the actions from Power App, they go through Power Automate and a custom connector, which is sitting on top of Azure Function App. And the Function App runs the PowerShell code by retrieving the service account credentials through Azure Key Vault. And the Function App is authenticated, so everything is secured. And thank you everyone for this time, and a quick call to action. Please use this link to access our application. It has a whole deployment guidance, FAQ, and if you have any questions, feel free to use the discussion tab within the GitHub repository. Thank you, Vesa.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Srinivas. Thank you, Rick. Really, really cool stuff. Awesome work on that, and a great architectural description as well. Thank you for that one. It always helps in understanding how things are being built. Now, let's then jump on the live Share SDK with Supriti. I think Supriti, you are good to go as well.
Hey everyone, I'm Supriti. I'm a product manager with Mobile Teams platform, and I basically work on specifically on the meetings extensibility side, which is how basically you can extend your meetings with apps and make them more powerful. So today, the feature that I will be showcasing is the live share feature, which is an SDK that we released sometime last build. And over the last 1 year, we've added a bunch of capabilities on it. And as of now, the feature is live and it is available both on desktop and mobile. So basically, to start with, what is exactly live share, right? So think of live share as an SDK, which we have made available for our developers and partners so that they can translate and transform existing Teams app that they have built into more collaborative experiences for their users. So basically, if you have assume a meeting app which you have created for users to collaborate on when they are within meeting, now you want to extend that and make it multi-user where users can come on it, co-watch things together, maybe co-create content or co-edit maybe a documentation or a presentation, all of that within the same team meeting so that everybody is together. That's where the live share SDK comes into play. All right, so basically it's very similar to the PowerPoint Live. If some of you have used that in the past, where you basically can use the PowerPoint, but at the same time you have more collaboration capabilities. So think of this as the same capability that you can extend for your applications that you bring within Teams and Teams meetings, so that folks can come together and work on it. And what we see here, for example, on the right-hand side is one of our early partners who had adopted this SDK. Called Hexagon, basically where what we see is folks coming together in meetings, and as you can see, they can see where everybody is. They can maybe comment on it, they can annotate on it, and basically make ultimately their meetings more productive instead of doing some of these things offline or putting in notes and then following it up later. So the idea here is that with your entire application that comes to the center stage of your meetings, and it takes over the meeting stage so that all the work and collaboration can happen directly within there. The key thing that I do want to let everybody know is that from last build to this build, what we've done is we've added all the capabilities on mobile too, along with desktop. So now the entire experience that you see for live share from a platform standpoint will be available on mobile too. That means you can start, for example, a live share session on mobile, completed end-to-end on mobile in case you have mobile first users who are fully on mobile, or you can have users sometimes, some folks on desktop, some folks on mobile, and you will get the entire capabilities. So that's what this high level, this feature is, and that we have released. Now I'll move on to the next slide, and to give a little bit of idea on some of the scenarios where live share basically can, really help you and really add value is, for example, let's say you are in a review, in a marketing review with your team on some videos that you have lately created, and you want to get some feedback. So everybody can come together in the meeting, and the user can basically start putting the video on the meeting stage, which is your application that you have built, and from there you can play and pause in between. You can comment, you can annotate, or if you want to edit some parts, trim some parts. All of that can happen together using live share. Similarly, for example, let's say you want to basically are a manager who's trying to get consensus and doing planning within the planning phase using Agile Poker app. And the same way you can basically use live share. What will really happen is that the Agile Poker app will become center stage on your meetings, and everybody can basically update their events, update their information on this particular app, and they can all come together and take the consensus right there within the team itself. And finally, similarly, if you think about let's say assume you are a financial advisor, and you basically use a lot of PDF documents with your clients to kind of get review and get updates and get the final sign off before they sign it. All of that can happen right within the Teams meeting now using this app. So you can get this, you can share the PDF contract, everybody can see where everyone is. They can highlight text, they can update text on the PDF. So all of this can basically ensure that everything really happens within the Teams meeting itself. So these are some of the scenarios where we think that live share really adds a lot of value. But of course, there could be a lot more scenarios. Ultimately, wherever you want to co-edit, co-create, collaborate together within the meetings itself, you can just extend your meetings app with the live share SDK capabilities. Now, moving on from the scenarios to what are the capabilities that we have within live share. So at a high level, there are three sets of capabilities. One, first is a live share, what we call the live share core itself. So when you think about live share core, it's the core, so to say, the building block that powers some of the live share capabilities. So for example, if you want to see where everybody is, which is what we saw in the previous slide, you could see folks and participants moving around, which is powered through something called live presence. So this live share core has those capabilities like live presence, where you can see where everybody is in the meeting, so you can synchronize all the metadata of the user with that. Similarly, let's say you want to send some real-time events to other clients in the same session. So all of that can be also possible within live share through something called live event. And similarly, let's say you want to synchronize a countdown timer with everybody else, that once everyone starts, everybody can see that. That can happen through live timers. So live share core helps you to really bring those core capabilities and sync that data from one user participant to the other user participant when everybody is in the meeting. The second feature that we have is live share media, or the second capability, so to say. So when it comes to live share media, so some of the capabilities that we discussed in, for example, the video edit scenario, which means that you really have to synchronize the media player content from one user to other user. All of that capabilities are built within the live share media. So it ensures that the media states are synced across users in case someone starts and pauses, let's say pauses the video at some place, it gets synced to everybody else in the meeting. In case someone resumes the video, everybody else in the meeting can see that the video is resumed and they can act on it. So all the capabilities related to the media in terms of starting the media, resuming, play, pause, intelligently adjusting media volume when users are talking, so automatically ensuring that the media volume is lowered. All those capabilities are built within the live share media. So that's the second set of capabilities that we have. And finally, what we have is the live share canvas. So again, as the name suggests, live share canvas is, think of it as a canvas that which gets reflected on the meeting stage of your app, on where you can actually then annotate things. So you can really add a collaborative canvas, which is your app or app center stage as such. And then on that, you can use pens, you can use highlighters to highlight some things, you can effectively point something using laser pointers, you can ensure that you can follow along someone using these real-time cursors. So all those capabilities are enabled using the live share canvas. So three main capabilities: the live share core, the live share media, and the live share canvas that is out there available within, as of now, both on desktop and mobile to use. So that's pretty much about the feature. So now what I'll do is I will go into the next slide, which has a small demo, which basically uses the live share media capabilities to sync media, and it's using the YouTube app, which has been built by Microsoft, to basically ensure that everybody is hearing the media together and they can sync and pause. So let me go to the next slide. All right, so let me play this.
Welcome to the demo of Teams platform capability live share using YouTube app. We will first see a demo in a group call. User Boris wants to watch a short film with his friends. So he creates a group chat and ping them. Owen likes the idea and shares a YouTube link in the chat, which unfurls into a co-watch card. Richard starts the call. Once both Owen and Boris has joined the call, Richard goes to chat and shares video using Share in Meeting button from co-watch card. Richard start the playback, but as he is not the owner of call, the video do not start for others. Then using option he takes control and start video for all. He also enables group control for others so that they can also do seek, play and pause. Owen seeks the movie ahead by using seek bar on his iPhone and using live share sync all user videos seeks to the time.
Perfect. So this was a quick small demo of the live share capability using the live share media in the YouTube app. So as I mentioned from the last 1 year, we have expanded this to mobile. Along with that, we've also added support for the deep link. That means what we saw in this particular video, where you have a small link that you share and it expands into a larger card, which has more details like the video link, the video image, so that it gives more information to the users. So you can launch it directly from the deep link. And along with that, we have also added the support for anonymous users. That means users who have joined in the meeting anonymously can also now participate in these live share sessions. So yeah, that's pretty much the capability and the feature that we have added recently for all of you. So all this information is also available on our documentation portal for developers. And please do see if this is something that you find interesting for your partners in development scenarios. And in case you have any doubts, do reach out to us. Happy to help and resolve any queries there. So yeah, that's pretty much from my side. Thank you, everyone.
Excellent. Thank you, Supriti. Really, really cool. Great demo as well, and a recap on. I especially love the fact that we're showing scenarios. Those are always super important. It's not about the technology. It's about what we can do with the technology is the key. Now, thank you, Srinivas, Rick, and Supriti. I will take the last demo from my side, and then we'll close up the call on the hour as well. So thank you for that. So the last demo is about latest on building Microsoft Viva extensibility with the SharePoint Framework, and we're going to talk about what's happening there. Now, first of all, SharePoint Framework, it is the easiest way to build your enterprise solutions within the Microsoft 365, and it is evolving. It's already used by tens of millions of monthly active users worldwide, and it has been really well. The growth has been phenomenal from an adoption perspective. The beauty of the SharePoint Framework is that you can actually build the SharePoint Framework without worrying about single sign-on, without worrying about where the code is being hosted. So, which is almost the same thing as Power Platform. But if you're building a scenario or hosting something in Azure, that might get complicated for some of the customers or for you, for your company as well, depending on scenario, of course. It has consistent dev scenario using TypeScript and web stack development tooling, and it's using the industry standard tooling as mentioned. Now, on the previous demo within this call, we saw a live demo on Share SDK, Live Share SDK. Live Share SDK, as an example, is completely supported to be used with SharePoint Framework with the latest version of 1.17.x. So it's evolving all the time. The beauty of SharePoint Framework is that you can use the same extensibility model and the same code across multiple different applications across Microsoft 365. And you can build even SharePoint Framework solutions using Teams Toolkit. You can build it using SharePoint Framework Yeoman Generator, or you can use the Microsoft Viva Toolkit as well, which is a community-driven Visual Studio Code extension. So there's a lot of option, a lot of commitment, and a lot of scenarios. And the key here is the reusability of the code. So you can actually use the same code, same experience across multiple different applications, not only just in SharePoint, but also in Teams, also in Outlook, in Microsoft 365 app, and in Microsoft Viva, which is the topic of this demo. Now, just a quick recap on what is the Microsoft Viva, and this is an integrated employee experience platform which empowers people and teams to be their best. That's a really, really nice marketing statement, but basically it is an employee experience platform providing you a set of modules. Some of those modules are free, some of those modules have a license associated to them. There's also the Viva, Microsoft Viva, the family licensing behind the scenes. I'm not going to talk about licensing in this call because it's also a bit complicated topic always, but you can use SharePoint Framework to extend especially Viva Connection within this all-up Microsoft Viva scenarios. And Viva Connection is also the home of Microsoft Viva, and we will see that within the upcoming slides and also within a demo. So depending on which Viva modules you have actually bought, you will see those modules to be available within Microsoft Viva Connection, and you can actually see the capabilities lighting up in the Microsoft Viva Connection for both desktop and mobile workers. The mobile scenario here is the key. So the Microsoft Viva is also targeted natively to support frontline workers who might not sit in the front of the desktop computers 8 hours in a day or throughout their working day. So it's really flexible platform adapting based on the end user, based on the device, what is available. And you can extend that. And you can extend that using SharePoint Framework as mentioned. Now, what do we have on the Viva Home or Viva Connection? So this is the Viva Connection. This is a kind of a graphical view on that. A picture view on that. I will show a live one, but I will call out a few things from here. So first of all, the Viva Connection or Viva Home experience, it will have the header section, which will include all of the different Viva modules based on the licensing, which have been bought to this particular tenant. So you can easily access from one centralized location all of the Microsoft Viva experiences directly within the Microsoft Teams, because Microsoft Viva builds on top of Microsoft Teams, and it actually, from an extensibility perspective, it's really there to drive adoption of Microsoft Teams platform as well. Now, what we also can do here is that we can design a personalized company-specific dashboard. So a mobile experience, a mobile targeted experience, which also is available in desktop. So you can design what are the cards and experiences, what are we exposing here. You can actually target those based on a role, based on the other attributes of the user as well. So the managers could see a different set of cards than the employees who are employed within the company. And then we also have the feed, which includes SharePoint, Stream, and Yammer content personalized for each user. So basically being a one feed where you can see, okay, what's happening within the company. Oh, that's a really cool thing. Somebody created a new news article or new content in somewhere. I can go easily access that. I can like the things. I can bookmark items from a feed as well. And then we also have the company resources available within this homepage as well. So we can access easily the main frequently used sites. You can access easily the followed sites and also the company resources from a mobile-friendly experience. That's actually really, really cool. And if you're looking into getting more on a SharePoint portal and global portals, this obviously links into the connected Viva connected home site, so you can access the SharePoint portal and a global intranet directly from the Microsoft Viva Connection experience as well. Now, as we start designing experience and extensibility for that dashboard area explicitly, you're seeing those individual cards and designs there. Well, this works in a way that we provide you a set of designs by default or set of layouts for those cards, which you can take advantage. Right now, the set of layouts are a bit limited. We're looking into adding additional layouts in future. I'm going to show some of that as a teaser within this quick demo as well. But basically, you design what is the card? What is the thing? What is available for end user? And of course, the card can be completely dynamic. It can change the image. It can change the text dynamically as well. And then the question is, what happens when I click the button? When I click the button, we have a flexibility of using adaptive card experiences of designing a really kind of a quick view or quick operation, which are visible for the mobile or desktop experiences. And I'll show this one in practice in the demo, so it makes more sense. But basic idea here is that rather than redirecting the user to a complex Microsoft Teams application, which has too many operations, too many things, we surface cards which are targeted for the operations relevant for the role. And let me actually explain that a bit. So if you have if you have implemented a Microsoft Teams solution, explicit solution for an explicit scenario, like in this case, we have a Microsoft Teams solution being accessed through desktop and also through the mobile experience. In your company, you might have actually tens of Microsoft Teams solutions, hopefully in place. And as you have this solution, you can start designing what would be the suitable cards for the dashboard, so that within the company mobile portal and in the default welcome page, the Viva connection page, we can actually surface the relevant information based on a role and based on the behavior what we want. So rather than always saying, well, you need to find the solution, you need to go to the solution and click a button there, we can surface the relevant actions and the quick actions directly within the Viva connection. And then the quick view is there to give you the relevant, most common action, rather than forcing redirection to the Microsoft Teams. So that's kind of a cool way of having the mobile first experience within a mobile. And again, I'll show that one in practice in a second. Now, what's new in here is that we do have a new partner opportunity. So pretty recently, starting a few weeks back, we can actually expose also Microsoft Viva offerings directly within the app stores, so in the Microsoft Store. So as long as you build a SharePoint Framework solution, which contains an ACE, that's an adaptive card extension, which is targeted for Viva, and it will automatically be listed on the Viva section in the marketplace. And we're seeing more and more application providers in here, which is great. Any existing solution which is in a store, however, needs to be resubmitted. So basically, this detection of that component type happens as part of the submission pipeline. And that's why we see a bit less listed in here than in the SharePoint store from that side. But this is a really great, cool new opportunity for developers. Now, let me do a really quick demo on the Viva within this Microsoft Teams site. So in here, we're in Microsoft Teams, and Microsoft Viva is really there to provide you the corporate landing page, which is, again, personalized based on a role, personalized based on the company. So I can easily modify, for example, the section. I can change the image to be based on my branding. In the future, we can do more branding elements in here as well. I can, of course, modify the dashboard based on my business requirements and based on the roles. And here, I can go to my dashboard designer, and let's actually add one example dashboard, which is retail. Inventory in here, for example, for the frontline workers in our company. Let's say imaginary Contoso retail company, which is having many stores, and the clerks within the store are connected to the company communications through a mobile phone and a Teams rather than desktop. So let's actually give them the targeted experience within the retail, within the mobile experience. So that's the retail experience. Let me republish. And basic idea here is that from the desktop, I can get access on the information. I can list, for example, the information relevant for the business. Or if I'm in the desktop, I can, of course, use the full Microsoft Teams solution as well to get access on the inventory. But again, the most important thing here is to remember that it's all about that mobile experience as well. So taking into account those mobile frontline workers and making sure that our employees in the desktop and our employees in actually have the same experience. So here we are in Viva Connection. Here we are in Viva Connection in the mobile phone and a mobile experience. And you can actually see the same dashboard to be available. And these are the quick views and quick cards available in my iOS experience. So this is actually the mobile experience which I recorded directly from my mobile phone. So this way you can actually provide that connection for the frontline workers and people who prefer or who use mobile phone to get connected on company assets, rather than always assuming that they have a desktop, because that's not always the case. Help desk, submission forms, all of that would be a great examples of providing in the Viva connection. And all of those cards, as we can see here, can be built using a SharePoint framework. I'm not going to deep dive on how, because we do have a lot of assets available on how in our documentation. But a lot of cool things and options to get started on building things. Now, I will get one more in here. From a timing perspective, we are pretty short. We will talk about the future of ACES and Viva and all of these options more detailed in upcoming calls as well, for sure. But we're looking into providing additional card types. We shared this one first time in Las Vegas a few weeks back. So we're looking into having, for example, a text box search options directly within a card view, also large cards and graphic cards and chart cards directly within the Viva connection. So you can actually build much more compelling and dynamic dashboards, which can then link to Microsoft Teams application or Power Apps natively supported directly in the dashboard as well. So if you have a set of Power Apps within a company, you can easily collect them to be available in the dashboard and target them based on the roles and profiles, and then get them visible for users. So really, really cool scenarios and more to come in here as well. Now, there's a lot of things available and assets available in the Viva connection. Extensibility, thank you, David, just shared the links. A lot of assets, a lot of information. But if you're interested, please have a look on that. We're always interested also on your feedback. What you need to get started, and maybe we should be covering a bit more detailed, again, those scenarios within this weekly call, what we can provide within the dashboard and how things are working. Good. Now, that's it for that demo. So thank you for joining today, right on time. Thank you, Srinivas, Rick, and Supriti for the great demos. And a week from now, we have 2 demos queued up on 23rd of May. Actually, the build is happening on that build keynote is happening that day, but that build starts at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So this is 8 a.m. Pacific time next Tuesday. So DC and Humping are going to talk about update on Microsoft Graph Beta API for SharePoint pages, and update on that, and maybe a teaser timeline when it's GA'd. And then Diksha Udashaya is going to talk about multi-tier support for site discovery within the Microsoft Graph. So API-oriented, but really, really cool scenarios for next week in the pipeline. That's it for this one. We would love to get your feedback about the call, what works, what doesn't work. If there are things we can improve, please let us know. Super important input for our planning as well. And as mentioned when we started the call, the recording will be available within 24 hours in that community YouTube channel. You cannot access the recording from the chat. It's going to indicate that you could. That unfortunately does not work. Please subscribe on the YouTube channel. You will know when the call is available. And again, follow us on Twitter. Check us in the LinkedIn. That's a great way of engaging with the community as well. The next call is on May 23rd, and all of the calls available on aka.ms community and calls. That's it for today. Thanks everybody for watching and listening, and thanks for the great demos for the presenters. Cheers. Have a great one.